All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Banter Evans. Justin, what's the lineup for today, man?
Man, I'm excited about this. It looks like we're about to have some of the newest and latest and greatest in the grain to glass collection from Heaven Hill. We're big Heaven Hill fans.
Yes, indeed.
You guys are Heaven Hill fans. Let's try these and see what this is all about.
Yep, it's going to be their new edition, grain to glass. What we have the regular bourbon here. We've got the wheated bourbon right here, and then we have the rye
whiskey.
Yep.
And they are all different mash bills than their standard mash bill that Heaven Hill does. We all know they do custom mashes and things like that. So this is to showcase according to the label, the handshake when they decided to go with the family they used for the corn.
Yep.
So this is showcasing the grain, and then finally when it gets to your glass after distilling, bottling, all that fun stuff. And a side note, now keep in mind, if you guys didn't read the label carefully, we did that for you already.
Yes, indeed.
These are not 750 milliliters.
Nope, these are 700.
700s, which we didn't know that until right now.
Right.
Thank you for letting us try these bottles and for the people that were allowing us to get these so that we can try them. These are all going to be fresh cracks.
Yes, they are.
Thank you for joining in. As always, cheers, and what is in your glass?
Yep, hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Well, I guess which one we will start out with first?
I think we're going to go in the order that is left to
Okay.
right on the camera. So
All
we'll go bourbon, wheated bourbon, and then rye last. So we're
Sounds
going to fresh crack these.
Yep.
If I can figure out where the plastic perforation is.
I know, it's kind of hard. There it is.
There it is.
Finally found it on this one.
Now, let me go ahead and put a side note in there. I am wearing bourbon socks.
Yes, you are.
And it is from the distillery.
Yep.
If you can verify.
Get some larceny socks.
And
one of the ones on there.
USA Men's Golf win gold.
Yes, they did.
And they won the Masters too. So
This is what we're wearing the Master shirts.
go USA
Go
for the
USA.
gold medal in golf. We are doing Masters in celebration for the gold medal in golf.
Yeah. It's.
I'm on a struggle over here.
I'll tell you what. I'm interested in this. I like the bottle on this too. The labeling is good on this. I'm very, very interested to see what these. I've been waiting, I should say, to see what these taste like.
Yes, I've been excited to try these and definitely open up some of these because they're proof, let them breathe right before we pour. But the good news is we've got 3 Glencairns to do 3 side-by-sides.
You know what? I'm struggling on this one too.
There's the famous knife to open. But yes, I definitely like the packaging. The packaging is fantastic. The bottle looks good. I would have to say, with the amount of weight on this bottle, that this is a more expensive glass.
I would say so too.
Yeah, and that definitely might contribute to some of the higher price point. If you guys don't know what the price point on these, they are not inexpensive. They're about $100 MSRP, give or take $1 or $2, depending on your market. And I think I've seen some on the shelf higher than that, and I've seen some, just a few dollars more than that. So that's what I would say expect to pay for this. And this would be our first time trying it. Hopefully you guys have joined in, subscribed, and all the fun stuff to watch what our thoughts are, and then see if you want to go out and get one for yourself.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and I think we'll go over the mash bills and everything, but these two, the rye is definitely interesting to me because I really want to try the rye, but these two, those are the ones I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and again, these are all different mashes. Now, we can officially say every single one of them has 13% malt in the mash bill, which is a high malt to me. That's a high amount of filler grain.
Yes.
And we've all had malt whiskey, and we've all had the Parker's Heritage 8-year malt, which I thought was great,
right,
but completely different. And had a good time trying that. So I have a feeling that the 13% malt isn't going to shine as much as the percentage, which we'll talk about when we pour them and try them, as far as the other amount of corn and wheat and rye in these.
Yeah. So, hey, let's go ahead and let's
try
go
it
with that one, yeah.
All right, left to right, it'll look like this.
Thank you, sir. All right.
So middle will be the wheated bourbon. Interesting nose. Definitely interesting.
Is it?
Now, I'm not saying I'm going to finish all this on camera because these are going to be at least 1.5 ounces pour.
Yeah.
And then rye going for the third. Let this tone down a second.
Yeah, I have a feeling the rye is definitely going to need to
So,
open up a little bit.
now that we're working on getting our Glencairns filled and you guys have got your glass ready, hopefully you've got some grain to glass to join in while watching this video because that would make the most sense. And then see if you get a little bit of what we're talking about as well. Again, everybody's got their own palate, and see if you can get some of the same character notes that we get as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with 107 proof.
107, and it is, what is it? We got, it's the wheated.
No,
I'm sorry.
Wheat is in the middle.
Wheat is in the middle.
We're going. What would be closest to a standard mash?
Yes.
Even though none of these are standard mash. So this is the 35 rye, which is a high rye percentage.
It is a high rye.
So it'd be a high rye bourbon, 13 malt because they're all 13 malt, and then 52 corn. So the corn is gonna be the same. as far as the two bourbons go.
Yeah, I'm
But it is 107 proof to start, which
kind
is
of skipping ahead.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
No. But no, I think 52 corn in both of the bourbons.
Both of the bourbons, yeah.
And I'm interested
So
in that.
one's a high wheat bourbon and one's a high rye bourbon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you got 35% rye, 35% wheat.
Tell you what, it's got a good nose. It is.
I definitely like the nose on this.
Yes.
The higher rye bourbon. So let's call it the blue, the maroon, or red,
Blue,
and
red,
green,
and green.
Blue, red, and green.
There
so
we go.
On the blue bottle.
The blue label, yep. And again, these are fresh cracks, so definitely, I think opening this, especially these two, with them being higher proofs, I think we can definitely let them open up.
Yeah. So again, 107 proof to start. Then we're gonna jump into 121 proof.
Yeah.
So that goes up to my favorite number, 21.
Yep.
121 proof. And in the rye, to cap it off, after we've had the two bourbons, we'll save the rye to last like usual. 123.2 proof.
Yeah.
That's some proof.
That's stout.
All of these were 2017 and released in 2024. So if you do the math on that, roughly 7 years old. They didn't say the specific month, so based off of that, it's going to be somewhere between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Depending on the month, obviously they didn't put that on there. So
I like the nose.
yeah, I like the nose on that one. So going to the nose on. Now that I look at it, how did I do on my?
You did good.
Holy cow! I've got to do this more often. That's like dead on.
Yeah. Ooh. Now the weeded. Interesting.
All right, so I definitely get some of that weeded proof
Yes.
on that compared.
But similar. But they're similar. The bourbons are similar in nose, but I definitely get the wheat on that.
Now, also keep in mind, I'm trying not to move as much. I have an injured back, so if I look weird on camera or if I'm making weird motions, I am controlling this and soaking it from the inside, which is how I cope sometimes.
All right.
It's been a rough weekend. So
Yeah.
I'm glad these came in so we could do this because this makes the highlight of what I've done this weekend, having that injured back.
We're definitely interested in this, and I can't wait to get this one done, get it out there so everybody can see it. So way you can see us review it. Hit that like and subscribe button, and there's a lot more videos coming.
Yes, thank you for joining in. Also, do you get a little bit of, I'm going to go say black tea notes on that rye?
Yes. I definitely.
And a little bit of pepper. There's some black tea and some pepper.
I do get the pepper. I do get the tea.
Yeah, and
The
that's interesting.
It's not this. The rye doesn't have, to me, the ethanol like the other two.
It doesn't.
On the nose.
No, it doesn't have the ethanol, especially the wheated bourbon with that 121 proof.
Yeah.
So I wasn't gonna do any of the nosing and say what it was until I tried it, but because it was so apparent on the rye, I had to say, all right, there's definitely a black tea and then some definite pepper.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. My first sip on the bourbon.
Yeah. Cheers. I'm gonna go with you on that. Ooh.
First initial impression.
Ooh.
It seemed more than 107 proof on the initial impression.
I'm getting a tingle on the front of the tongue. Now it finishes good.
It's got a nice finish.
But I'm getting
some warmth.
I am too. I'm getting that rye though, man. Are you getting the rye on that one?
Oh yeah, it's definitely got a bit of a spice going for sure.
Interesting.
It's different.
Yeah.
But I'll give it this. It doesn't have this standard MGP high rye taste to it.
No.
So with this being 35% and MGP does a lot of the 30s and stuff like that in the percent of rye, those really have that high rye spice. This really doesn't have that. Mm-hmm. It's got a rye spice, but not that high rye.
But it's initial.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's very initial. Very
but it does
upfront.
have a very warming
Yes,
effect.
it does.
So sip number 2 before I move on. That almost reminds me of a single malt. Like an American single malt.
I can see that.
And that's got to be that higher malt, maybe not. Because single malt definitely doesn't mean a single malt taste. I mean, a single malt, uncut, unfiltered. Yeah. Single malt doesn't mean a higher malt taste.
No.
Yeah, not at all. But it almost reminds me of some of the American single malts, like Virginia's doing some that are pretty decent. But it's still not my thing.
There's a spice on there that's kind of lingering to me, but I can't put my finger on it right now. I can't say what that is. It's a little bit. It's kind of like the baking spices and whatnot that you normally get.
Oh, it's got some baking spice,
but it's lingering. There's one that's kind of lingering.
It's like a specific one that I think that's what us both are puzzled on, as far as that goes. And then again, I was gonna do two, and then back and forth, but I kind of want to do a 3 on this one just to see if I can get what this is. I might just go 3-3-3 and just not do the 1-1-1.
I think that's what I'm going to do too. I think
I'm trying to figure out what that is.
But it's lingering. Do you still have it? Yeah.
It doesn't really move.
No.
It literally stays on the palate and on the middle to forward part of the tongue.
Yes.
And it's got this little spice that just stays. Now, what spice it is, whether it's a baking spice, a clove, or a...
Yeah.
But it's not cinnamon.
It's not cinnamon at all. No, but it's like... It's almost like a clove, but it's a baking spice.
It's a baking spice of some sort, like an allspice almost.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an allspice.
Maybe it is an allspice.
All right. That third sip is much better. It's like I've opened up my palate.
Yep. I don't get a lot of the ethanol. It's still
got a little bit of warm though.
It does. I'm trying to think proof-wise.
Oddly enough, for it being a 35% rye, it's still got enough of the corn to make it a little sweet.
It does.
So it's like, okay, yeah, it has the spice, obviously, but it's still not overly spicy. Again, back to the MGP comment.
Yeah.
I would definitely 100% prefer this mash bill in the high rye bourbons than MGPs.
Yeah, I agree.
As far as that goes, because I still get a little of the sweetness from whatever corn for this personal family handshake, according to the label, they've gone with for these.
I get the sweet in me. The corn's coming in on the back.
That's where it takes a while.
Yeah, but because it's very forward heavy with the spices.
Yeah, no, it takes a while for that sweetness to. Mm-hmm. It sits and lingers with that spice, and then you get a little bit of. It's not initial at all.
But the warming's there, but that warming goes away. For me, at least, it went away pretty quick.
I'm still.
Are you still got a little?
Still got it. Yeah.
I don't know. Now I'm really interested.
And I didn't eat, so it's not the food.
Right.
I haven't had anything since breakfast. Yeah. So I mean, I got lunch after this because I didn't want to alter anything.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is causing from food. Like there's
no, but it's not like heartburn. Yeah. But I still have that lingering taste. I'm gonna have to clean the palate.
That's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I think that's probably a good move.
Yeah, I think
let's do that.
Cheers, guys, and hey, tell us what you're drinking today. Also, tell us if you've had any one of these and what your thoughts are in the comments, because we're putting this out. We're gonna get this out as quick as possible. That way, you can hear it from us, and also we want to hear from you.
And we'll give our overall opinion as well, as far as we think it's a buy, a must buy. We haven't done our barrel rating in a while.
Right.
We might even break out our barrel rating.
Yep. Our stave rating. Yep.
Yeah. Stave rating. That's true.
Yep.
I forgot. Right. Yeah. Barrel stave.
Barrel stave.
I didn't. Again, uncut, unfiltered barrel. It's a stave rating, but it comes from a barrel. So.
Exactly.
All right. Weeded bourbon.
Weeded.
Cheers. Thanks for joining. So it definitely has a less of a nose to it than the high rye bourbon.
Yeah. Ooh.
More mild, but we're about to jump up to 121 proof.
I'm going to be interested to see what you think of the first sip.
I'm not going to call it flat, but I'm almost going to call it a slight bread nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely got some, like if you can imagine if somebody's making their own bread in the background, like some dough, that's got a nose like that.
Yeah, it's got that nose. You can definitely tell the grains in it.
Yeah.
You can smell the grains.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what you think of this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's different.
Yeah.
So that will, if you go from the high rye bourbon to the high wheat bourbon, it will definitely wake you up.
Yes, it is.
So it's not going to, it doesn't drink to 121 proof, I'll tell you that.
No.
But it's got an instant 100% different taste.
Yes, indeed.
Like these proofs are making my nose run.
This one is interesting to me. Right off the bat, I was like, whoa, it was almost like a wang to it, you know?
It's got that to it.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I'm a weeder, which is a fan of weeded bourbons. I'm not saying that I'm not a weeder. I like them and their application with certain ones. I really like them. This is a high wheat weeder.
Yes.
And for the wheat heads, somebody should hashtag wheathead. The people that are just like all about weeded bourbons, this is going to be up your alley.
Yeah, it's almost, to me, it's one that we haven't had this one in a while. We haven't talked about this bourbon probably ever on Bourbon Banter Evans, but it reminds me kind of like a Big Level.
I definitely don't want to talk about Big Level. Thank you for bringing that up.
I'm sorry, but right off the initial sip, that's kind of what brought it to my head.
Okay, here we go. Number 2.
Sip. Yep.
It definitely has the proof, but doesn't drink it because I'm getting it, the twinge in the chest, but it doesn't taste the proof at all.
All right, second is definitely better. Second sip is definitely better, but to me, this is a one-hit wonder.
This is going to be a great party trick. Somebody take this as a blind somewhere and let them try to figure this one out.
Yep.
This one stays on the tip of the tongue and then goes past the middle and right to the back.
Yep.
And it's kind of like envelops the whole thing with wheat.
But that's the only, I'm only getting that.
Yeah.
I'm not getting much of anything else.
No, this is closer to a wheat whiskey.
Yes.
Which, that being said, you could go into this thinking Bernheim, because they produce Bernheim, and Bernheim is their wheat whiskey. And since this is 35% wheat, which, if I remember correctly, Heaven Hill doesn't go above and beyond, if you want to call it that, as far as like their higher wheat for wheat. A lot of times, like what I've heard from visiting and talking to different people that are big into Heaven Hill, 51% qualifies, they might be 51%. That's what it is. And so this is not far, I don't believe, from the percentage that they use for Bernheim wheat whiskey, which now does a barrel proof. So
okay, I didn't know that.
With that being said, I'm almost going to say barrel proof Bernheim compared to this would be your side by side.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, that's this is a
I'll tell you this.
Interesting.
I'll tell you this. I'm getting it here, right here.
I mean, it's. Whew.
But it doesn't burn or anything else.
No.
You get the burn here. It just warms up the chest.
Yeah, it just warms the chest cavity big time.
Yeah.
And then that's, I don't want to mention it, but that at big level again.
I know.
That's what it's got that twinge in the chest cavity. Like, this is interesting. None to say, but
I can tell you right now, and I'll just go ahead and do this. Right now, out of the two, I'm definitely
that's a no-brainer.
There's a no-brainer.
There's a no-brainer between the two of those.
Yeah.
Now, I have heard of one person, that's it, that tried the rye, so now I'm really interested to try the rye.
Oh, okay.
Now, keep in mind, 107, 121, 123 and some change, all set at around $100 MSRP.
Yeah.
This is a 7-year-ish, because it could be 6, I didn't put the month on there,
right,
for $100. So we're going to have to play that when we do our stave rating.
Exactly.
Because you got to have a banging good something and behind it an idea that says, hey, I'm a big boy, I can hang in the $100 price range.
Exactly.
With a lower age statement.
Yeah. I mean, you're spot on with that. And that's, we're definitely going to take that into account. And right now I can already tell you, I kind of
know which one I'm leaning.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheers again, like and subscribe.
Third
sip, here we go. On the wheated bourbon, in case you're just joining in, 121 proof.
121, and it tastes just like wheat.
Third sip, best sip.
It is the best sip, but it's still, to me,
it's almost like a coating around the lips now.
It does feel oily.
Enveloping around the entire palate. Now it's like, got the whole thing and the lips involved.
But it's to me, it's got that oily mouthfeel.
Like viscosity of oil.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, it's there, you get the taste, and then it's gone.
Yeah, and then it stays right in the chest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that being said, I'm going to clean the palate.
Yeah, definitely.
Move on to the rye.
Yeah. I'm the red label one, if you're a wheater, grab it, honestly. If you're a wheat head, or whatever you will call them.
Somebody hashtag that, hashtag wheathead.
Mm-hmm. I'll put the hashtag in the title. So that way we can get some wheaters involved. All right. Whew.
Okay. All right. A little bit of light beer and a little bit of water for the palate cleaner, like we've done in the past on multiple videos. Everybody knows.
Yes, indeed.
So I definitely encourage that if you're doing this. And here's another thing that I forgot to mention. My apologies. This also was an idea designed for flights on the bar level. So this is probably going to be more popular at a bar than actually in retail. So that may be one of the things that you'll notice in your market, depending on what your market is. Obviously, we're Bourbon Banter Evans. Thank you for joining in.
Yes, indeed.
In the Evans area, it did have some that hit the market as far as retail. But for the most part, it sounds like this is going to be designed for flights, bourbon flights, at a bar.
Which makes sense.
This would be a super fun flight, by the way. So high stave rating from us for a flight.
Especially blind.
Yeah.
If you didn't know.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Now, when we break it down per whiskey, that's going to be something different. But as far as if they have this priced appropriately, like say $30-$40 for a flight of this, and you get an ounce, game on. That's going to be a fun time.
I agree.
So,
all right, let's hit the rye.
Rye Friday.
Yes, indeed.
That is such a pleasant nose on the rye. You get that pepper and that black tea.
Ooh. I like that. I like that.
That is
still
a sweet rye.
It is, and it's still that I get on the finish. It's still that flavor's still building.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so let's talk about this one. This is 63% rye.
Yeah.
24% corn, and again, 13% malted barley. So you've got your filler grain and your corn pretty balanced with your 3% rye. So it's going to be,
And 123.2 proof.
it tastes nothing like that proof.
Nothing like the proof.
I mean, if you were to blind me on this, I'd be like, about 100.
Yeah, I'd say right at about 100.
And I don't have that chest.
No, I don't have that either. Had it like right here, just a tad bit, and then gone. That's first sip too.
This
curious.
might be a higher stave rating than I was expecting it to be for a rye.
I was kind of scared of it, to be honest with you.
But at the same time, I've had some pretty nice, and you have too, some pretty nice Parker's Heritage Heavy Char rye.
Yes.
And some other ryes that they've done that are really good.
Yes.
So it doesn't surprise me that they can't bring this to the A game
No.
as far as that goes. But again, we are now competing with that $100 price tag for the year that it is.
Yep.
And the mash bill that it is, and the trio that it belongs to. So here's sip number 2.
Sip number 2.
Wow. Simply put,
I'm impressed.
wow.
I'm impressed.
Wow. Wow.
I was not expecting this. I saw 63%, and also with the malt has high malt content.
I was not. This is wow.
I was honestly scared about this one, but my gosh.
So I'm gonna break the whole stave rating character right now and say, no matter what we rate this as, that's a must buy.
Yeah, I agree.
That rye is a must buy rye.
Even at the price point.
Yeah, I don't care. That's a must buy rye.
Yeah.
This, when people realize how good this rye is, expect that to be the one that you want to try at the bar, and that's going to be the one that you need to get at the store if it's available.
Yeah, I go in for a third sip. Third sip's going to be even better than.
Yeah, this is just going to be, the sweet note combined for a rye just doesn't make sense, but it's so pleasant.
It is.
And then you get that nice little bit of spice and pepper with it to say, hey, I'm still a rye whiskey.
Yep.
The balance on that is just phenomenal.
It is. You hit it right on the head when you said this. It's a sweet rye.
It is a sweet rye.
It is a very sweet rye. And it's good. It's not overpowering sweet. It's just the balance. Just like you said, the balance is phenomenal.
Is what I'm going to go ahead and put this out there. This is a bourbon drinker's rye.
Yes, it is.
For those that aren't heavy into rye but like bourbon because rye might have too much, this is up your alley.
This is like an intro to rye.
Well, no, it's more complex than an intro,
Yeah.
but I 100% get what you're saying.
Yeah.
This is for the person's like, I don't know if I want to try rye. And I'm not saying that you need to spend $100.
Or whatever.
Yeah, but this is, I can't wait for the third sip.
Yeah, I can't either.
And this is 123.2 proof.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I honestly think.
Wow.
I honestly think I could crush that bottle.
Oh yeah, holy cow!
It's crushable.
That's a crushable rye at 123 proof.
I know. That is going to sneak up and bite somebody with drinking that.
Oh yeah,
because it is so. And honestly, with this, I would be afraid to put it on ice or anything else like that.
That is so delicate, sweet at the same time.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting thing. What would water do to it? I must say it would probably.
I think it's going to make.
I think it's going to make it less approachable.
I do too.
It might take away the flavor, which is a flavor bomb, by the way.
Right.
And I'm not saying it because it's 123 proof.
No.
I'm just saying because it's good rye.
It is a very good rye. It's very. I think it's very well balanced, just like you said. I think if you did anything to this, if you put it on ice or if you added some water to it, I think it would actually blow up the complexity.
It might take away.
I think so.
Yeah. So
we'll have to do that off camera.
Rye for the W.
Yeah.
Of the day on Heaven Hill, GTG or G2G, or Grain to Glass.
That is the best one out of all three of them. I mean, I'll tell you this right now. If you want to get one of these, go for the rye.
Holy cow. And let's not forget the control, which we were going to do on camera or possibly wait. But now, I don't think it's close. I would probably pick the control over all three.
I would too.
Because we've had the control so many times.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to add that on the video or not, just to make it shorter, sweet, to the point with the Heaven Hill Grain to Glass. But keep in mind, our control can be tried versus this. Just let us know. Reach out.
Yeah, honestly, reach out. Let us know. We will do. Give us some ideas for some videos and everything, and come try the control. And honestly, if you had this, come try this. We'll do this again. Try the control again with it, I should say.
Yeah.
Uncut, unfiltered. I will tell you this: the control will win.
Yeah, I think
so.
Now, but versus the rye, I mean, That's gonna be a.
I know. That's going to be an interesting.
That might be what we do is the side by side of our control versus a rye.
Yeah.
Which we have stated, I think, before that our control is a bourbon, but that's all we've stated.
Yeah.
So it's not a rye. We're not going to hide that part. I mean,
it's a bourbon.
I mean, I think some people, said, "Oh, it's Canadian." No, it's not. It's a bourbon.
It's a bourbon.
But
it's not a whiskey. It's not a Canadian whiskey.
It's a bourbon. But it's not a rye. So, but that rye is so good.
That rye is amazing.
All right, so I'm gonna put you on the spot, Charles. You ready?
All right. Yep.
All right. Without even, I don't even remember if we did third sip because it was so good. So
no.
All right, stave ratings. Let's do the Bourbon Banter Evans BBE stave ratings.
Yep.
And I'm gonna put you on the spot and go with the blue.
Blue for me. Blue is probably 3.
3?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's not bad. That's
not bad.
5 is
the best. 5 is top.
All right, so let's go red or maroon. So red.
Honestly,
weeded.
The weeded one, I don't even want to give it 1.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, one is what I would go with.
Tough critics, folks. Tough critics. All right, and the rye.
The rye is like a 4, 4.5.
Yeah, that's okay.
So now 3 to me, it's almost a 3, but we can go like 2.5 or whatever. To me, it's closer to a 3 than it is a 2.
So we've talked about this before. So I'll do my stave rating real quick.
Yep.
Bottle, presentation, labeling, everything. I got to give it a 3.5.
I agree.
Only because I agree with your 3, but the bottle and the cork and everything, the presentation's amazing.
Yep.
3.5.
Okay.
The Heaven Hill grain to glass weeded. The bottle, the presentation, everything is great.
Yep.
The whiskey inside, these are going to be the ones to go for.
Yeah.
That being said, I got to give it a 2.
Okay.
Because I'm a Heaven Hill fan.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
I'm a Heaven Hill fan too, and I love the bottle and everything else like that. I was strictly going with the juice inside.
Yeah, that makes sense, and I think we've talked about this before. You have a tendency to go juice.
Yep.
And
I
like
the
the presentation.
Yep. Yeah.
And so on to the rye. My stave rating for BBE is going to be right there, dead on with you. I'm giving this a strong 4.
Yeah. I mean
4.5. Nah.
It's
but it is a strong 4.
Is so
4 out of 5 in the stave ratings. I mean, we're not quite alligator charred, but we are way up there in the stave char.
Right. Now I'll tell you this though. If you get a chance to try these out and about, do try them. Definitely try, especially at flight. If you can get a flight
gosh, this is going to be amazing at a bar to get a flight of this. Price point pending. Now I can say this. Now let's talk about that for a little bit. Now after having tried these.
The only one for me, and I'll just go ahead and put this out there. The only one for me in the price point is this one.
That bangs it home at $100. There's no doubt that rye can compete in a $100 rye category.
I don't think
these are going to be tough to compete. So I have a feeling that these are going to be similar to what we've had in the past when it comes to bourbons. That you buy it, you don't buy it again until it's empty.
Correct.
This is not going to be something that I have a feeling that you're going to want multiples of. It's one of those. They're so unique in what they are and presenting. This is what we've done with the mash. This is what we've done with that corn from that family.
Yep.
Try it. This is going to be one of those that hey, try this real quick. You pour it for your friend. That's interesting. Let's talk about it.
Right.
Or you put it in a decanter and you do double blinds.
Yep. And have somebody
and have
try
some
to figure it out.
Super good times with that. Yeah.
And to me, with these, I think it's great. And thank you guys for allowing us to try these and put on video and everything. I think it's great to share with people.
Yes, this is going to be a fun time when it comes to 3 different mashes from the same distillery.
Yes,
presenting their ideas.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
I do too.
Yeah,
but if we're going back to price point, the only one in the price point that I think is worth it is right here is the rye.
Yeah, it's bringing it home.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yep, I would pay $100 for this, or 100 plus, whatever for this.
When that's empty, I will look for another one.
Yeah.
When these are empty, I want another one. There's a difference between looking for and wanting.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as the bourbon game goes.
No,
I mean, and let's say what it is. It's a game. It shouldn't be a game.
But it is.
But it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
No, this one, rye for the win, man.
Rye for the W. And it's not even Friday for the Rye Day. But we should do a Friday Rye Day and put that in it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Guess what? And do some blinds.
Yes.
With that.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to do, let's get Devin involved. Shout out to Devin.
Yep.
He's the rye guy.
He is the rye guy. I think, honestly, I would love to hear his opinion on this one.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to get
So thank you guys for joining in. Like and subscribe. Charles always does that part, but I'm so excited to get to where I actually say that now. It's starting to become second nature.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, appreciate it, guys. Thanks again. Hey, and what's in your glass?
Cheers.